You're stepping in, Sensei. Your little cinematic universe is about to change forever. I'm the Messiah. I am Marvel Jesus.
Deadpool and Wolverine, or maybe Deadpool 3? I don't know. I've heard conflicting reports on that. You've all probably seen it already, but hey, I have a review to do, and man, I do have some things to say about this movie, both good and bad, because on one hand, I really don't think it's as good as people are saying it is, but I also don't think it's as bad as, say, IGN has been saying either, so I don't know, strap in, we're going maximum effort here. Deadpool has always been a weird character, and I don't think it's possible to separate him from Ryan Reynolds anymore, at least in a live action sense. I think Reynolds is hilarious though, so it's great to see him continuing to do his spin on the character. I like Deadpool personally. I think he's funny, I think he's a lot of fun, and hey, he's a furry now, so bonuses for that. So what is this third entry into Deadpool about? And is it actually in the MCU, or what is it in? Ooh, let me get into it. This new outlook follows the titular Merc with the Mouth as he is abducted by the Time Variance Authority, or the TVA, if you've seen Loki, you know, and tasked with finding a Wolverine to replace his timeline's Wolvie as, surprise, this Deadpool is in the 2017 Logan movie universe, apparently. Is that a spoiler? The movie opens talking about that film, so it'd really only be spoiling the first minute? I don't think that counts. Okay, look, talking about this movie without spoilers is going to be really hard in general, because how can I critique the cameos and surprises later except by being incredibly vague? I'll try, but this is gonna be difficult. Most of you have probably seen it already anyway, so whatever. I won't spoil anything, but still. However, I will talk about characters that show up in the trailers at least. You can't be spoilered if they're in the trailers. Ha! I found a loophole! Anyway, Deadpool here goes on a mission in order to join the official MCU by finding a Wolverine to protect his timeline. And there's plenty of crude jokes and insane violence along the way that Deadpool is known for, so don't fret there. This is rated R for a reason. There aren't as many fourth wall breaks, but it's fixed with a fantastic one very early on, where he starts to manipulate the camera and the mic himself, and that was hilarious. I really like that one. I think the film was able to ultimately add Wade Wilson into the MCU's variety of universes in a decent enough way, while also poking fun at the, frankly, overabundance of multiverses within and outside of the MCU. But while doing so, I feel it also kind of falls into the trap that those other movies have. It has a boatload of cameo characters that serve no other purpose than to provide a reference or a crude joke. Some seem to tease future projects, and others seem to be included for no real reason besides brand recognition. There's a couple of jokes surrounding certain actors playing certain roles, and what I presume to be a bloody dig at the Spider-Verse films, but I don't know, that kind of stuff just feels weird. It can be funny once or twice, but it happens a lot in this movie, especially with Dogpool's inclusion. That's a big issue here. That puppy comes running up literally out of nowhere in the middle of the movie and introduces a whole new character that is funny, but serves no addition to the story whatsoever outside of foreshadowing an upcoming event in the movie that is spoiled in the trailers anyway, so what is the point? In fact, Dogpool's introduction cuts off a rather poignant scene. I remember sitting back when this dog comes running in going, wait, what's happening? Can we finish that last thought? Why are we so focused on a dog now? Cue random confused noises from me. I just wanted to finish what we were talking about, but the movie instead wanted to zoom on by to the next set piece and cameos. I think maybe there's an issue as well where the film tries to be a bit too action-y with gratuitous bullet time and, frankly, and admittedly bad CG effects. But on the other hand, the film also really likes to slow down and let the characters have intimate and or funny moments with each other. And I like that. There's a ton of fan baiting too, but that's to be expected. This movie was built on fan baiting. The advertising is fan baiting. Teasing adding Deadpool into the MCU is fan baiting. Teasing mutants is fan baiting. Bringing Hugh Jackman out of Wolverine retirement is fan baiting, and yeah, I love it. It's awesome to see these two specifically interacting off of each other in ways they should have back in the 2000s. But the movie could have focused a bit more on depth, if I'm being honest. I do like the fan baiting, but the fan baiting should be in service to the product overall, not just to fan bait for fan bait's sake. The fight scenes, however, are amazing, especially right out of the gate at the start with Deadpool absolutely massacring a ton of dudes with, well, that's a spoiler, so I can't tell you, but it also has him doing accurate dances to In Sync while smashing people to bloody bits, so it's a ton of fun and just a great opening into this film. I'm sitting here jamming out while watching all this, it's great. There's later a one-track fight scene that feels like it was ripped straight out of Old Boy, but with a Deadpool spin on it, and that's awesome. I'm actually surprised he didn't call Old Boy out by name, but okay. And the group fight scenes too have so many background details going on with each fight. Is just, there's so much to watch and it's so much fun. I just wish there was more. There's only like 3 or 4 big fight scenes, so I feel like there could have been more here, but still, a lot of fun. Again though, the CGI is admittedly pretty poor. I believe there's one point early on where Deadpool's sword clips through his body. I think it was in the trailer too. And another scene near the end where Wolverine looks like he's fully CGI, and oh, it's bad. It's not as bad as The Flash, but oh no, he looks like a PS2 emulation or a weirdly painted action figure. It's just weird to see that coming from Marvel, but their CGI track record has been crap since Endgame, so okay. I'll also nitpick and say that some cameos seem odd or make no sense other than to just include characters and actors that we know and specifically our parents love, even if those characters' inclusion makes absolutely no sense in the setting of the world. You can probably guess who I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. Also, there's a striking lack of certain fan favorites from previous entries that are nowhere to be seen. You're telling me Zazie Beetz and Josh Brolin couldn't do quick cameos for Domino and Cable? There's a joke about that, but still, really? I loved them and they're just not here. Even a picture of them would have been nice to see, but nope, they don't even get name dropped besides Cable. It's weird. I will say though, the one new inclusion that I absolutely love is Emma Corrin as Cassandra Nova. They detail who that is if you don't know, so I'm not going to go into it, but all you need to know is she is fantastic and every scene she's in. Her powers are weird and intimidating. She makes a huge entrance and is clearly just having a ball in the role. I think this is Nova's first ever film appearance, at least in live action, and yeah, it's so cool. She's great. Done so well, seriously no notes. I want to see more of her. Otherwise, I'm kind of in a loss with this movie. I want to like it a lot more than I do, but at the same time, I really liked Deadpool 2 the most, and this isn't Deadpool 2. I think if it could focus a bit more on story over cameos, it'd make for a better movie, but I also think it's fine and funny enough as it is. The MCU desperately needs a Deadpool running around in the background, and this one fits the bill perfectly, even if he is much more bloody and unserious than everyone else, but again, that's the point of Deadpool, so I do hope we see him in the next Avengers film anyway. And he needs a Spider-Man team up, that'd be so much fun. Deadpool and Spider-Man, hell yeah. At the same time, he's also firmly rooted in X-Men territory, so with the addition of mutants to the MCU, I think that's a great direction to go. Oh, also, there was this big thing I saw earlier about this film not needing viewers to have seen any Marvel shows or movies leading up to this, and that is just not true. Not in the least. There is definitely required viewing. There's not a lot, but there is. Pretty much only includes Loki Season 1 and 2017's Logan, but some general knowledge on X-Men and other Marvel movies, including before the MCU, is definitely helpful. At the same time, this film also doesn't play into any future Marvel movies I can think of, outside of a couple jokes anyway, so don't be thinking that this is required viewing at all for mainline MCU. You should see it because there's a ton of fun and that's all this movie wants to be, but that's really all it has. I think the director, Sean Levy, did a fine enough job. I just wish the writing was a little better here or there and a bit tighter. Maybe cut a character or two and include someone else in the role. They can even be killed off. It's Deadpool. The audience doesn't care, I assure you. Either way, I think this is a very enjoyable film, and the end credit scene especially is a very amusing payoff to an earlier joke, so stick around for that. Oh, and not really a spoiler, but during the credits, a bunch of behind the scenes footage for a ton of old Marvel movies plays, including the original X-Men movies and the rebooted trilogy, among others. I thought that was a really cool little love letter as a way of saying bye to those X-Men in particular. But wait, now that I think about it, if this movie is set in Logan's timeline, but Deadpool 2 had him in the rebooted X-Men timeline and Charles Xavier was too... You know what? Nope, I'm not gonna think about that. You fanboys can have fun with that red tape. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Jesus. Anyway, ultimately, Deadpool and Wolverine gets a 7.5 out of 10 from me. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around for another one. Yeah, I had to see it. I love Deadpool. Sue me, he's fun. I think there's so much you can do with a character like that, and being able to explore not only adding him into the MCU and other MCU characters that they're trying to implement and maybe reboot or have as other things. It's just a ton of fun. I really kind of wish we got to see more MCU characters, but I think we got enough. The focus was more on lower tier, more mutants, because that's what Deadpool has always been. So you do see quite a few mutant cameos here or there, especially the lower tier ones that you probably don't know too much about. And of course the Deadpool variants, they have a scene. It doesn't really feel needed, but they're there. I don't know. There's a lot of funny moments I want to talk about, but they lead directly to spoilers that aren't in the trailer, so I can't. But I think that a lot of people would have fun with this. If you haven't seen it, I think you'll have fun with it. It's definitely a movie that knows it's fan service and doesn't really try to be anything but fan service, so I'll commend it for that. I think it does the job fine enough. It's funny, it's gory, it's entertaining, and that's pretty much it. Kinda wish it had more stakes, but whatever. We'll see later, I guess. Deadpool 4, unless this was interlude and then we have a Deadpool 3. Who cares? It's whatever. What did you guys think? Did you like this movie? If you're going to post spoilers, please put spoiler in the comments, just so people who haven't seen it can scroll away if they see the spoiler tag. And yeah, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, ring that bell, and that's it. Have a great day, and if you're not, have a better one. See ya.
I'm just a ghost in your stereo, the fading memory of a shipwreck in the undertow. You're just a lost song I know, and I'm just a ghost in your stereo.